Hi, this is my biohydrogen project for the biofuel. This is for Bio 111. So a background to biohydrogen. Biohydrogen is a form of clean green energy, which just means that it is a safer alternative for our environment compared to the modern fossil fuels that we use. It only produces clean byproducts when it's produced, such as water or H2O. So no like carcinogens or poisons being sent into the atmosphere, as is done by the production of modern fossil fuels like oil and gasoline. It was discovered in hopes to combat global warming by creating a much cleaner fuel source through processes like photosynthesis and fermentation. And then it is extremely easy to produce, transport, store, and use. Um, it's it's easy to produce because it's just via natural processes. It's easy to transport because it can be condensed into liquid hydrogen, and that kind of carries over to storage too. And then it's very easy to combust and used to make fuel. So how is it made? Biohydrogen is primarily made and produced as a byproduct in the photosynthetic process of different microorganisms such as algae. So in photosynthesis, CO2, H2O, and sunlight are required, and H2 and O2 are produced as the products of photosynthesis. Any type of organic waste that we throw away, like a banana peel or an old apple, can also be used to produce biohydrogen, except instead of photosynthesis, like the algae, we use fermentation in biorefineries. And this can occur in different types of fermentation, but essentially it's the similar process to cellular respiration, and the byproducts result in an excess of H2, which then can be accepted into fuel. And then while this form of hydrogen production is developed and researched, it's not very common as equipment that is needed to make these processes happen in a industrial manner are really expensive at this point in time. And even if we were able to cheaply produce hydrogen fuel, not many of our devices like cars or engines or stoves, none of these will take or accept hydrogen as fuel. So we would need to kind of completely revamp like modern infrastructure to accept hydrogen fuel. So the impact of biohydrogen, because of natural processes such as fermentation, photosynthesis that are used for the production of biohydrogen, it's extremely clean and efficient for the environment. And rather than producing carcinogenic toxins, it only produces CO2 and H2. Um, as of now, biohydrogen is expensive to produce relative to other fossil fuels. However, this is due to the fact that it is a brand new type of fuel. And in theory, if biofuel became more desired and there was more of a push to produce it, more efficient and cheap forms of production um, would come into existence. The idea of biohydrogen has been introduced to ecologists and economists, but the because of its current impractical nature, as stated before, it's pretty expensive. Um, it has never been presented to the public as a viable alternative. So my thoughts, I believe that biohydrogen is a very viable energy alternative given how accessible it is. However, right now, it is simply not probable to convert all fossil fuel using equipment over to some sort of hydrogen engine. I do not believe that given how natural, or I do believe that given how natural the production method of hydrogen fuel will become much cheaper and easier to produce, I believe that our first step should be to make production cheaper for biohydrogen and to inform the public on the clean nature of the fuel. Next, similar to like what is happening with electric vehicles and electric appliances, we need to slowly convert all of our devices and tools that use gas products into hydrogen consuming devices. And these are my sources. Thank you.